I'm Henri from God Dethroned, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast.
And how are you?
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Last time I saw you guys was on 70,000 Tons of Metal in the small theater upstairs.
You mean what was it, 1 or 2 years ago?
Is that, I don't even remember when, I've been on them all, so I don't remember when it was, but.
Well, because we played 4 times.
Okay, yeah, whatever the last one was it this year? I don't even remember. It was the year before?
No, we played 22 or 23. I don't even remember. I think we played 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I was trying to figure it out. I know I saw you in that upstairs small lounge.
Yeah, we had a pool deck this time and the lounge, the Star Lounge.
Yeah, that was it.
And but we always play the Star Lounge once, and we always play another one, So
right.
I think all 4 times we played pool deck twice now. We played the ice skating rink, and we played the main stage. But also always the second time is the lounge.
That's like going back to the club days, right? That's that small kind of club feel in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
yeah, nothing wrong with that.
So this year, not yet. Not confirmed yet.
No, I think it's too early because I think it wasn't last edition, but the one before. So I think we played 23. So it's too early. It's too early.
Gotcha.
I mean, he always has like 2-3 years in between.
Yeah.
And actually, I think there's not that many bands who played 4 times already. And we did. So I don't know. I don't know when he will have us back, if he wants to have us back at all. So
right. Well, cool. I appreciate you joining us. There's my partner, Rena. Late as usual. Rena, you there?
Yeah, this is not my day of podcasting. I can't hear you guys. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we got you here.
You can? Awesome. Let me just do some tricks. Say something smart.
Hey, something smart. Anything.
Here we go. Game on.
Anyway, Henri.
Hello, Henri.
Rena.
Oh, hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm Rena. I'm Bruce's partner, who is here off and on and just bringing bad luck wherever I go.
Today she's bringing the bad juju, so hopefully we get through this without any issues.
We'll see.
We'll see. Indeed. Did you get all the 70 tons talk out of the way, or?
I don't know.
I
we'll
think
probably
so.
still talk about it. Who knows? I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's great. I don't know. Did they start in 2010 or 2011 first time?
2011 is the first one I went on.
Yeah, we played first time 2012.
Okay.
And then 2015, and then 2018 or 19, I guess, and then 23, I guess. Yeah, it must have been 23. Yeah,
I don't remember anymore. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Let's talk about God Dethroned, the Judas Paradox. I just watched that video this morning. I don't know if it's released worldwide yet or whatever, but and maybe I'm behind the times, but what an interesting topic. Like, I never took that kind of story from the other side. How did you guys get there?
Yeah, well, it was, I guess, by coincidence. It was just something that I happened to think about. And then, like I usually do when I write lyrics, I do some research. And to my astonishment, I found out that, first of all, half the planet is thinking about this. And even in the Bible, there's contradicting stories about Judas. So there's not one common theory about him being the betrayer. There's also a theory and a story in the Bible where it says that Jesus could look into the future. And, there was this big master plan, but he would be killed only to return as king of the world. and he needed someone to fulfill this plan, and he chose Judas to do so. So in fact, Judas was the victim and not the perpetrator.
So he was sort of set up.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you know,
pretty much.
I didn't make that up. I mean, it's in the Bible. Really, check it out.
No, indeed, I've also read about this, and that this was, that he wasn't the one to betray Jesus, but the one that Jesus trusted the most to actually carry the like heaviest load of then being the one to blame for the
Yeah,
death of the Messiah. So that they were in cahoots doing what they were doing, and it had to be in a way where he is seen as a traitor. It couldn't have been, that he couldn't have just walked up to the soldiers and said, here I am, take me, but that it had to have this aspect
yeah,
of betrayal for.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what I did, I wrote the lyrics from Judas's perspective. So he explains that he was one of the 12 disciples, that he was really proud of that he saw Jesus as his brother, blah, blah, blah. And then the whole betrayal part comes. And then when the clean singing starts in the song, which is done by Dave, our lead guitar player, he sings the part from Jesus where he speaks to Judas and says, well, please forgive me for what I did, but you were the chosen one to fulfill this plan. And that's what the song is about.
So the chosen one then to be hated through all of history and vilified forever, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I was watching it this morning. I was like, well, I've never really thought about it from that sort of angle, but
I hear that a lot nowadays.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, people don't actually read the books they quote. The people who are the most active in waving the God banner are not in any way familiar with the book they call holy and the contradictions and the actual content of it. There was a time in my life when I had a friend who was sucked into the Jehovah's Witnesses, for instance. And to be a good friend, I tried to entertain it. Like, obviously, I was never going to join Jehovah's Witnesses, but they have a thing where they study the Bible, that this is study the Bible. This is what they do, like, daily and blah, blah, blah. But they only study verses that have been like pre-handed to them. It's not like they start in the beginning and then plow through the entire book. No, they just pick and choose like these thingies, and then have explanations that are served to them like dinner at a restaurant by the men who run the organization and will make money with it. So it's not actually studying it, and then when you have some knowledge of the Bible and bring up these inconsistencies and controversies that are in there, they will call you a traitor. They're not even interested in like actually learning. And I don't know about what you think, Henry, but do you have this like understanding or impression that this would spread further than just the Jehovah's Witnesses, but in general, people who claim to be Christian are not entirely familiar with their faith or their holy writings?
Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Well, first of all, over here, hardly anybody is going to church anyway.
Right.
People call themselves still Christian, but they don't do anything about it, which is fine. I mean, it's a free choice. But It's exactly like you say. People, they get something handed to them, and they get a free explanation, and they don't even bother to check. And they don't know anything about it. They just, it's something they grew up with. It's like almost like they're brainwashed or something. They grow up with something. They get taught that this is the truth, and they accept it. And everybody who's against it, they don't like, but they don't know anything.
They do not, and I think this is the key in this is like, you don't check it yourself. If somebody contests your thinking, you're just going to decide that you suck. Like, I'm not having this conversation, and that is like really, really tricky. Like with anything, it doesn't have to be religion, but anything, any conversation, if presented with, Sorry, say again.
It's indoctrination. That's what it is.
Indeed. Yes. And then it's like so linked to the people that you love, your community, where you belong, where you think that you have a part in this group, that this is my posse, and contesting or criticizing or asking questions is not directed at that specific book. It is perceived as to be directed at that posse, at your ensemble, at those people that you love. And this is the tricky part, right? Because we all want that. We all need that. People are created to be social beings who yearn to be a part of a group. Because, being alone means death. That is still, pretty much, even if we don't die of starvation these days, but still, like, not being socially active.
Yeah, and then there's certain religions that even won't accept the fact that you will not stay with them.
Yeah,
like the ones you were talking about. They will not accept the fact that you will leave them, because they will take everybody away from you.
Yes, and that's a cult, if you ask me, because these are still like these are. And sorry for everybody who's super religious. I respect your choices in life, but for me, it's a little tricky when it comes to coercion. If your God is so weak that it like needs you to be abandoned by your family, if you reject these teachings or make different choices in life, then I don't feel like this entity is omnipotent or as well-meaning as they are painted out to be. So we know that these are actually not things that are written in the Bible or almost any other religious book, or maybe the Old Testament, more of a cruel approach to things. But still, this like excommunication and all of this is man-made. These are tools that are used in cults. That if you end up in a cult, they will start distancing you from the rest of the world, your family, your friends, who could tell you that this is maybe a little iffy.
Right.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Totally.
Sorry. I went on a bit of a rant there, but
Okay, it's okay.
So now that the record is out, I think it's September 6th, right? The Judas Paradox.
Yeah.
What was the writing process like? Did you guys specifically try not to write like the previous record? I mean, I know you still have to be God Dethroned and you still have to write to your fans, but you don't want to create the same record. This is number 4, right?
This is album number 13, I think.
Album number 13.
Yeah.
wow,
We started.
Yeah,
We
way
started
off.
in 1990, so we did the first album in 92.
Okay, so even more so, we're going to disregard what I just said, but even more so, right? Because you don't want to write those same albums.
No, and that's one of the things we never did. We always wrote something that we hadn't done before. So every album is different from the one before. Some people don't like that, because some people, like a certain album and they want us to write more albums in that same style. But we never do that. We always change everything around. So every album is completely different. Of course, there is a common theme. There's you can hear it's God Dethroned. If you know the other albums as well, then you can hear it's us. But it's always from a different angle, different songs, and that's what we did this time as well.
So none
tell
of it
me
is
what the biggest
Go ahead.
tell me what the biggest differentiator is if you compare it to the last one, for instance.
Well, the biggest differentiator is that all the songs are completely different.
Right.
No, but it's true. I mean, we write from melodies, so we write a melody and then we create a song around it, and we just make sure it's a melody that's new. It's not something that reminds you of another God Dethroned song, and that's what we always do. And that's the biggest difference, always. So the lyrics are different, the melodies are different, so the songs are different.
Right.
And we always try to do like some brutal songs, some more mid-tempo melodic songs, and some atmospheric epic songs. And that's always the mix we try to make on every album, first of all. And second of all, we write an album like we take you on a journey. we still have this old school way of thinking, like you start the album at song number 1 and you finish the album at the last song, and when you listen to the whole album in the right order, then it will take you on a journey through the music.
Right.
And okay, so when people listen to streaming services only, and maybe only listen to the singles or only listen to a song that's in a playlist, of course, then everything changes.
Right.
But we still try to think of the writing process as a journey from beginning to end, as if somebody would listen to the whole album. And the fans
Yeah.
do, you
Oh
know.
yeah, and I think that whole sequencing thing you're talking about, that's a lost art, right? Because like you mentioned, people consume like a single at a time, but there's a real art to creating the ebbs and flows of a record to keep that storyline going, right?
I totally agree, and I like it, and I know that our fans will still listen to all the songs in the right order. But you know, many people who don't know us, they will probably hear only 1 or 2 songs, perhaps. And so yeah, it's the record label wants us to work in the old school way. Like, okay, you do a whole album, then we put it out, and we have a couple of singles leading up to the release of the album. But you know, if necessary, I could also work in the modern way. Like we would just do a new song every 6 weeks, or a new song every 2 months, or 2 songs every 2 months. I could do it like that. That would be no problem for me. But the record label says no, we want to have a full album, and then we put it out with a couple of singles leading up to it, and that's fine by me. It just takes a longer time. You know, I can't write a new album like every 6 to 8 months. I mean, I need to recharge my batteries after we finish an album. So this means that we will put out an album every 2 years if we're lucky. You know, and that's in the modern age. That's a little bit too long. There's too much silence in between. Actually, you should release something new like every 6 to 8 weeks or something.
Right.
Well, that's a pretty brutal pace if it's 6 to 8 weeks. But yeah, a lot of people actually will release every single song from an album as a single to make sure that there's a consistent stream of new content. And like every 2 years is still like a pretty good pace, especially if you guys are also touring and also playing gigs. So how much of that do you do?
Well, everything changed during the pandemic. I mean,
Yeah.
in the past, we did this schedule of an album every 2 years, and then do at least 2 European tours in between, or usually 2 European tours a year. Sometimes go to the US, do the festivals, do club shows in the weekends, and write a new album every 2 years. As you may know or may not know, I took a break from the band starting in 2012. We came back together in 2015. And initially, I just wanted to play live. I didn't want to do any new albums. But after a couple of years, the booking agent said, okay, man, you need a new album because we're running out of shows. You need something new.
Yeah.
So then we did an album, we toured on it, and then we did an Illuminati album. But that one was released like a month before the pandemic broke out. So we managed to do 1 European tour right on top of the release, and we managed to finish it. We came back home a week later, the whole world stood still, and then nothing happened for at least 2 years. So that caused a lot of demotivation for me. So now there's a gap of like at least 4.5 years between the last album we did, Illuminati, and the new one, the Judas Paradox, because of the pandemic and because of all the demotivation that I had because of it, not being able to do anything, and it felt terrible. So now there's nothing anymore. Now we have to start again, basically. We're going on tour. We're going on tour like by the end of September. We have a month of touring with Ultimas and Batushka in Europe, and so that's great. So now finally we're getting back in the rhythm again. And I don't know what the future will look like if we will do 2 European tours a year and go to the US as well or not. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. but we're ready at least.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Right to
Yeah.
you, Bruce.
Oh no, I was going to say, have you found that the motivation has totally come back yet, or do you still struggle?
No, the motivation did come back, and you can hear that. You can hear that on the album. I mean, the album is really strong. Um, so, but I didn't want to put out something that wasn't good enough. So we took a lot of time to write new songs, and I think that was a good decision because if you feel like you have to put out something new, but you feel demotivated, that's not going to work. So I waited until I found motivation again. I wrote a song, and then the band said, that's the direction you want to go. And then they started writing songs, and then everything went pretty quick. And now we have a great album coming out, and I think it's better to wait a bit longer and do something good instead of trying to keep the pace and come up with a mediocre album.
No, I agree.
Completely agree.
Was everybody frustrated with you because you didn't get there in their time frame, or they just kind of let you be?
The record company let us be. They didn't put any pressure on it. I guess they maybe at a certain point wondered when it would happen, but they didn't say anything. They were really polite, and they let us be in our creative process. I guess within the band, not everybody was very happy that it took a while, but now now everything's fine, and we're all in a good mood, and everybody's focused on the tour and promoting the new album and stuff like that. So it's all fine.
Excellent. Rena?
Is it usually like you just described that then you kind of just showed up with a song and the guys were like, cool, this is the direction, and started like co-writing towards that same direction? Is that how it usually goes for you, or can there be resistance?
No, there's usually never any resistance. I'm the founder of the band. I'm the only original member left, so the guys know that I take the lead in things like that.
Right.
But at the same time, they don't have to worry about the things they come up with. They know what I want. Usually, they know what fits to the band, music wise. So, and they get all the freedom. If they come up with good ideas or good songs, then it's all fine. I'm glad if they do. I mean, it's quite a tough job to after so many years come up with new songs and be original and have strong songs. But the guys do that. And for example, our bass player, he comes up with a pile of riffs. He says, "Henri, this is what I got. Take whatever you need, and whatever." So I when I have a song and I need riffs, then I look into his ideas, and I was like, I can use this and I can use that. And he's fine with that, Even if I only use 50% of his ideas, he's completely fine with that. And then Dave, our guitar player, he writes a lot of stuff on his own. And he's a great guitar player, a great songwriter. Sometimes we work together a little bit, like on the arrangements, but usually he does his thing, and it's great stuff. And so there's quite a lot of freedom, and also for the drummer, he can do whatever he wants. If he feels like this is the best, or this is the best tempo, or this is the best way to build up the song, then I let him be, and it works out. It works out great. So I'm really happy with the guys.
Sounds excellent, and that is not always the case, like that. And using 50% of somebody's ideas, I think, is a pretty good success rate. If you're just like shooting riffs out there, 1 out of 2 is not bad.
Well, and even the rest, the things that are left over right now, there's so many ideas that are still good enough to use. So it's not that it's thrown away. It will probably be used for another album. So It's not that it will be thrown away. It's easy. Our bass player is a good songwriter too, and but he's fine with me using his ideas. Or we put a song together. We put the ideas together, and it's like a 50-50 song. So it's not always that I finish a song with his ideas. Sometimes we finish one of his songs with my ideas. Right. It's basically the same. But no, I really value his way of working, and it works out well. It feels like a band, you know. It doesn't feel like I'm in charge and I'm deciding what's going to happen. It's like a real band process, and that's great.
Do you guys like hang out outside of music? Is that like an important part, or not at all, to have a relationship with your bandmates that goes deeper than just the rehearsal space?
Well, first of all, we hardly rehearse, and we only rehearse when it's necessary, you know. So for the upcoming tour, we're gonna rehearse for sure.
The talentless rehearse is what we say in Finland.
The talentless rehearse.
Yeah, only the talentless rehearse. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's true. I mean, if you play a show on a regular basis, why rehearse? I mean, unless you forget everything you did. I mean, which is not the case. So no, we don't rehearse a lot, and so the bass player and I, we live really close together. So we hang out every once in a while, have a coffee or whatever. The rest of the guys lives a little bit further away, so we don't see each other as much. So it's usually during the shows and tours that we hang out. But yeah, we are a great bunch together, you know. We gel very well, so to speak.
Nice.
And yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to go on tour with the guys again, and it's going to be great fun, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it will. So no like individual bus for you and then one for the rest of the band.
No, not at all.
Do you still find it as exciting getting back on the road and playing those shows, or do you find it more difficult as you're getting older?
No. Actually, I'm enjoying it at least as much, if not more, than in the past. Because when I was younger, I was trying to, you know, take the band as far as possible, and that brought a lot of stress on me. And now I'm like, whatever comes is fine, and whatever does not come is also fine. I know we're a good band. I know we have good songs. I know we have good releases, and whatever comes our way, we take, and whatever does not come our way, it's fine by me. I'm not going to be stressed anymore about it, you know?
Yeah. And 13 albums is a respectable discography. So like I'd be proud if that's the mark you can leave, and you know, you're touring, you're playing gigs. So I think that's more than a lot of bands that are also great can say. So
yeah, I mean, next year is 35 years for me.
Jeez.
35 years of God Dethroned. So it's quite an achievement. I didn't expect that when I started in 1990. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is a beautiful track record, considering, like Rena said, people come and go or barely get through the sophomore slump.
Yeah, true.
Indeed.
Yeah, you need some backbone to make it for that long.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it doesn't come easy, and there's always ups and downs for every band. There's only a very few bands who only have ups, you know. Usually there's always also downs, and of course we had that too. And yeah, it's part of life, and so you just have to take it as it comes.
And I love your outlook. That's beautiful.
Yeah, tolerating imperfection is the secret to happiness.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and not expect too much.
Yeah.
Don't expect anything. That's the easiest, you know.
The pessimist never disappoints. We have all these beautiful proverbs in Finland.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. No, but it's true. I mean, life is always turns out differently than you expect, or whatever you hope. You know, you have certain expectations when you're younger, and you think, I'm going to do this and this and this, and then in the end, everything went differently. But it's fine.
With all the planning, right? You plan and plan and plan, and it goes nothing like you think.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's hardly anybody on this planet who can say that everything went according to plan all the time. It's impossible.
No. You're correct. I think we're running out of time, Bruce.
Yeah, we're running up on our time limit. I appreciate you taking
that before.
The conversation.
Totally.
Thanks for having me. It was great talking to you guys.
It was a really lovely chat. It was nice meeting you, Henri, and good luck on the gigs in September and the release in September.
Yes,
so
good luck.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I'm going to cross paths with you on number 5 on the boat.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys in that boat.
Rena's never been, but
No, way too far here in Finland. But yeah, this
All right,
was super
Henry, take care.
lovely. See you soon. Good luck, and gonna give that album a spin.
All
Be
right.
well.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.